All right. I'll try to keep this down here so I don't blast Miss Tuggle away.
You're good. You're good. I'm just trying to get that code in.
All right. So this time I'm going to actually let Mr. Gardner put together a little PowerPoint with a video for us just to kind of show kind of what we see that's going on here at the high school. So what you don't know is the senior spotlights. Mr. Gardner has decided he's going to pick seniors from different groups and kind of go around and kind of discuss different topics with them. Let them kind of give a shout out and what it does in their program, and it's kind of really kind of amped up. A lot of the kids that you wouldn't see any other time kind of get involved, and it's lovely to do. Several of our sports teams are playing, so they're not here to kind of tell what's going on, but we've had a lot of big success this year with it. Gear Up with our 9th and 10th graders. They've been just on several trips and bringing kind of that technology in, and they get to kind of go around and see different things. Our math department has put on different projects. Also, the chemistry department has also done several things. Our ag have been everywhere. If you look, you'll be able to see, exactly what they've been in. Art, love this lady to death, by the way. You look out and see what we got going on around. Miss Mills has done a phenomenal job, and actually we may have smoked out the one classroom using the oven once, but that's okay. If you look and see what they've done out there on the table, it's phenomenal. Kids are being able to do things that they haven't really had access to doing earlier. So that was a TIG. Our guys are over there kind of using it very well in the welding shop. And so you'll see a lot of this stuff in December. We'll kind of walk you through and show you different things, what's going on at the Tech Center as well. Our JROTC is getting ready to go on a competition the 30th for air rifle. And then I was in their classroom today. They have drones out flying. They're actually getting ready to go up to Lincoln County maybe towards the end of the year, I think, or maybe early spring. And they have a drone flying competition that they're going to try and get involved in. So okay, lots of fun and interesting, stuff going on here at the high school that we are very blessed to see daily. I mean, we truly are. I will say that I think, myself, Miss Sams, and Mr. Lusk have the best staff in Monroe County. They may or may not have known what was going on. I don't know. Something's coming through.
If you want to get a chuckle, keep your eyes right here in the beginning.
They don't get entertained, you know? I mean, it's. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the sophomores won this one, right?
No, the seniors.
Was it the seniors? Okay. I couldn't remember. We are. We're trying to get all of our kids involved. You know, that's the big thing. Let them have a good. Am I too far over here? And say, is it me? Is that better? They can't hear. They still can't. Just try to get them all involved. You know, that's just kind of a little bit of, and you don't really get to see everything that goes on, you know, behind.
Mrs. Williams' science class also invited me into video of some of their presentations. They had a few presentations. I've got 21 minutes of presentation, which I'm not going to show all of you the whole thing, but I'll give you a brief synopsis. There's a little background music to it, but really it's just the students in front of the class presenting. They were doing things on rising tides, you know, things with the earth science class. But they were getting in front of the class and having class discussion, PowerPoints, all this stuff. So I've got probably, like I said, 20 odd minutes of it. And again, I'm not going to show it all to you, but a little brief synopsis of what they're doing as well. So.
Got it. Let's see here. Do you have your props like on stage? Are they backstage? I want you to see what we get to deal with on a daily basis, okay? If you would.
I actually came in here to warn you, I've got to close the garage door, so it might get noisy. And it's a mess back there, so I'll pull that up.
All right. So if you have not made it to a football game, I guess this past football game was the first time you used it, right? All right, look at that.
So we're doing a show based on the life of Angel Dickens, who is a nurse's young native. She is the West Virginia Music Hall of Fame. And her big thing that her legacy is her work for unionization of miners, as well as fighting for those who suffer with black lung. She lost her brother and her cousin both to black lung, where they worked in the mines. And so our entire theme of the show is actually based on the name of the song, West Virginia, My Home. And you can see all the different aspects, along with all the blood and the coal dust coming out of that. Free bird is all of the little birds and butterflies coming out of the flute. And of course, this bird covered in coal dust is kind of how her life is. Taking home through the road is the end song. And you got April over here
So, in essence, big things happening. Hey, it works. You gotta love impromptu stuff. I just wanted you to see what was going on behind the scenes. Give him a second to do that. But again, he came to me and said, "Hey, do you think Miss Mills can do this?" I said, "I don't know. You better ask her because I'm not telling her she has to." And I came out one day and I was pulling in late and she was out there painting away. She was like, "I did all of this today." Like, no lie. Both of those, right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
Not only did she do, like, he said by hand, she had bowls out and was, like, each of them had a color and dipping her hand into it. That whole thing was
Yeah.
hand painted.
Yeah,
It was a cool, and also really enjoying, I've been able to collaborate with Becky Crabtree. She's the voice of Hazel in our recordings. I've been able to collaborate with Ms. Mills, and that was a pleasure, and for kids getting to see what she's able to do. Collaborative efforts at this school is one of my main focuses for this season. I appreciate you and your part of that. Thank you all again.
going back into this, so you can see we're doing lots. I mean, got to do, pull everything together. You can see our executive summary. It just kind of gives you our list of our LSIC members. And so, we try to pull as much from the community as possible. You can see we have 3 community members as our parents of our members. And then, of course, Miss Surface, I guess, will be coming too, but she's our student person on the team as well. We're going to switch to this little chart. Should be mixed in, probably page 3 maybe, I think, and what Miss Sam's had for you guys. This kind of just gives you the rundown of where we're at, where we started, what we plan on doing. If you look at our current, this is I think the first year of all of them. So our current 12th graders have had the PSAT 9, 10, 11, and then the SAT 11. And as you can see across the board, they've gone up. So we've had a good baseline, and we're going to hopefully continue to see growth. If you look from the 10th graders, which are our current 11th graders, we have seen growth across the board as well. So still not, state average, but we're getting there. And that's kind of what we're going at. So we have goals for this year. The instructional goal is just having 85% of Monroe County students will meet or exceed a minimum of 5% growth towards grade level proficiency standards in the area. And then by June of 26, we want to ensure 100% of our students graduate from high school as college and career ready. Also, we will maintain an attendance rate of greater than 95% for all students. We had a culture and climate, parent and community relationship goal as well. And again, that's just to maintain meaningful parent and community relationships, at least a 20% participation rate with the targeted audience of each event. Just kind of running through some things that we are kind of looking at. Just continue to support the current programs that we have. I would like to, which we can kind of discuss, Miss Mills is a drafter, right? Do you do drafting? Is that correct? So we're going to try, and we haven't had very many, I don't think, doing ceramics or something. We're going to try and tweak and try to get like drafting kind of in, hopefully maybe. Is a possibility if it's okay with her. But just kind of continue just supporting the curriculum that we have to offer. Our staff development, and again, we have allow the teachers to meet subject-specific PLCs and professional learning days. Our personnel, and we're going to talk about this. I'm going to skip the JMTC because y'all will be with us in December. So I want to skip that portion and just discuss that with 2510, for our current 10th graders, we have 140 of them. They are required to have personal finance as a standalone credit. Mr. Gardner is our business instructor, and we've been able to do digital imaging with him as a elective. We're going to have to take that away for next year because right now we can only offer personal finance once because his actual curriculum changed, so we're shifting everything. And so we're going to have to drop that digital imaging elective that we have so he can pick up 2 personal finance classes. However, that only feeds 23 people you can fit in your classroom. Does that sound about adequate? All right, so that's 46 kids that we could have over there during those 2 periods. With an additional history teacher. Our history teachers here are grandfathered in to teach personal finance as well through the personal finance aspect of the civics class that they taught. They all went through and got approved through WVDE and have it on their certificate. So if we could get, right now we have 3 slots of contemporary studies, which is the 11th grade history class that they have to have. We have every junior, which is close to 90, in 3 classes. I can't fit 140 kids in 3 classes. So we're going to have to look at that. Kind of, if we could get another history position, that would free up another couple slots to offer a personal finance with the teachers that we have. So we won't have to, go outside and try and locate some program or something like that for our kids to do. Not to mention the space. We can 31, I think Mitchell has 31 in one class and close to 32, I think, in the other. And I'm not even sure about Mr. Triplet. So those are our 3 contemporary studies classes that we have. So we are asking if it's possible to add another history position for next year to cover the new state mandated personal finance class, and then to open up not having our classes, if I filled them all with 3, with the classes, you're looking at 46, 47 kids per class. It's, I think possibly if you look at the space, we might be getting into policy issues on that. I'm not sure, I haven't looked. But that is one thing that we are wishing for, or asking is for us to kind of dig deeper and look at that history. Again, facilities, Ms. Sam's had on her wish list, just the press box. Continue on with the addition of new lockers. We added some for the seniors, and they absolutely love the new lockers, and she is kind of wanting to do the same for the junior class as well. The window clings for outside, the windows here in the commons area. If you're ever here when and I just told Miss Mills on the way in, hey, the stained glass look that you had with those pictures were beautiful when the sun was shining through. It cut a lot of the light, and it was great. But that's the whole reason. Like when you're kind of monitoring and watching, that light hits there. I mean, it kind of blinds you at some times. She was asking for new flooring for the main office and the counselor's office. If you look, it has the old carpet. We've had some leaks and things like that, and that carpet is kind of nasty. So she was kind of wanting to kind of go away with carpet and put like that, I'm guessing the floating type floor, kind of what's in the main office, I'm guessing is kind of what they were looking at. And she also added gym floor. Floor is 31, 32 years old, so she was just kind of asking something about that as well. Safety and security, we had the mock disaster yesterday. I thought it went great. Ms. Sams did, and they responded with the door locks, especially those red locks that we put in. Actually, I need to put in a work order for a couple more that we've noticed don't have them, but they worked great. They were trying to key in and still couldn't get in, so they worked wonderfully. So that's something that came in good. And we have the safe insurance at the high school. Another thing, we do know that one's coming for the VOTEC, but again, we'll talk about that in December. I saw on the agenda about the intercom, so I'm going to skip over that one. And then just some camera upgrades. We have one DVR that's running pretty slow, and it takes a lot of time to pull up and do when you're kind of trying to view film. Just kind of some camera upgrades. I really like that Ms. Hoke is out there. We kind of took the advice of our staff and switched her over to Channel 1, so that way a lot of the communication of people coming in and out is off the air. So she's using Channel 1, which our secretaries have two different walkie-talkies, one on Channel 1 to communicate with her, and then one for our school here that we can locate kids. So that way it takes a lot of communication out. Again, pro officer, he's been doing great. We're very, very impressed with Deputy Burwell. He's out, he's getting involved, talking with the kids, and actually I think he's talking to several of them about pursuing military careers to get out and see stuff. So, just having that positive role model there has been great. Ms. Crabtree has been doing very well, and she serves as our CIS coordinator. She's been helping out with our metal detectors during lunch shifts. She takes a huge chunk of our attendance stuff off of us, and she provides our students with the snacks, waters, toiletries, clothing, shoes, everything that our kids are missing. Miss Sams again leaves with her motto: "Find positives in every day." Mr. Lux asked me to just stop in with the JMHS attendance. If you look, I may not have printed this one. He may not have given me enough copies. If not, I can get you a copy of it. But anyway, he has on here, our attendance last year was 91%. Currently, we're sitting at 93. All right, our goal is 95, so we're getting there. Our chronic absenteeism last year was 33%. As of today, when we were doing it, I think the paperwork that went to you guys said 25%. We looked at it today, it's at 21. So it's come down quite a bit. We're working hard. Again, that's, Ms. Crabtree developing positive relationships with the kids. We've pulled, I think, everybody in that's been chronically absent, have talked with them and had discussions as admin and our social worker as well. Some things that we've done is created the attendance team, which we meet monthly, just to kind of look at chronic absenteeism and unexcused absences. The attendance team meets monthly. Ms. Crabtree generates an attendance report weekly so we can meet with the students who are labeled as chronically absent. And then we have attendance pep rallies for students that have good attendance. During those rallies, the students are given prizes, headphones, clothing, shoes, TV, stereos, computers, just everything for perfect or near perfect attendance. Ms. Crabtree also works and gives students prizes for students that improve on their attendance. So that way they're not left out as well. We see that they're working hard. We know the background of some of these kids that, they may not have, are you going to school today, So we kind of meet with them, and so she doesn't want to miss anything with them as well. Last year we also did attendance incentives by grade level. We allowed them to kind of compete with each other, and they kind of had a joy doing it because, when, they got their reward, they were, look what we did, kind of built it up. So it was pretty good. Other than that, I think you guys have our LSIC budget, and we, met as a team, and some of the things, we kind of are looking at other funds to what teachers were asking for. So we were just asking for your approval of our LSIC budget. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. Yes, sir. we'll see. We'll have to look and see what the State Department has in the way of course codes and how we can meet it and all that. But that's she kind of brought that up, and a lot of our kids who are welding, things like that. I want them to do blueprint reading, writing. Why not drafting? I mean, that's so. So, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said, shoot for the moon. Because I asked him, I said, is there anything to stop us from asking for the pay the teachers their entire salary?
Right.
Like fading off over years. He said, shoot for the moon. They can always say no. So maybe we'll find some additional funding for that teacher and for the history teacher. Just something.
Right. I talked to Mr. Wickline as well, Brian Wickline with the W Extension, and there's some avenues we're kind of looking, especially when we try to do, and I'll talk about some of that when we talk about the meat house expansion. So, yep. Any other questions? I'm going to move this up. She said, sorry, you got to move the mic.
I probably don't need the mic. Anybody does. Public comments. Mr. Tom Spencer.
The first thing, I'm Tom Spencer. I don't need it. Can you hear me?
I'm Tom Spencer. This is my daughter, Shannon Pitzer, the mother of Channing. We have a big problem with the school. Not with the school down there, but with the Board of Education, up here. Channing has given them trouble 4 times at school. Lack of supervision. There are no special education teachers down there. None. Since January, he's had 5 substitutes that are not qualified. Now, they're good people. I'm not criticizing. Let me point that out. They are not. The aides, we find out on Monday morning that he's got a new teacher. Do any of you understand about Down syndrome? Change is bad. Noise is bad. And he acts up after lunch, not in the morning. So, the middle of September, I contacted Misty Nelson, and I said, Misty, we got a problem. Can we view the videos? She said, well, I don't know anything about that. I said, well, she said, I'll have to talk to the superintendent. That was on a Wednesday. She didn't call me. The next Wednesday, I called her, and she said, the superintendent said, get a subpoena. That's not true. You don't need a subpoena. The state law states that, and I've done the research. So that blew my mind. So I knew Union was not going to help me. And let me tell you what, he's 13. His mind is probably a 4 or 5. And, there are 2 kids in that class. I don't know the other kid, but there are 2 children. There's supposed to be a teacher and an aide. Now, I am not criticizing these women that are volunteering to come in. A couple of them have been retired. One of them taught phys ed. She said, I am not qualified to teach Channing. I don't know how. So finally we had an IEP meeting, and Misty was there, and we had to write a letter to the superintendent to request to view the videos. That was September the 30th. So I don't know when it made it back to Union. We did not hear back until this past Thursday. Now, we were told by Misty we had 7 days to hear from the school. We did not. I blamed Jonathan McPherson, but no, it wasn't. Jonathan did not get the report until Thursday, unless he lied. This past Thursday, he came down and fixed the cameras so we could view Channing's behavior. See, it started out nice. We wanted to be nice. We wanted to find out so the teachers would not have to deal with him. So I started taking him out at 11 o'clock, 3 days. Then the school down there says, hey, he's been counted every day, absent. So the truant officer got involved. So I called her back, Kathy Jones-Rife, called her back, and she talked to her boss and said, don't worry about it right now. We have scheduled in Roanoke? A psychiatrist in the middle of September. They will not view him until October the 30th. Now, we're looking at, is his puberty coming on and doesn't understand it? We're not blaming it all on the school, but it's getting down to the point that I am. I take that boy to Sunday school, preaching. I take him to get a haircut. I take him to physical therapy and occupational at Pearisburg Hospital. We eat out every Thursday. At my house, he's never thrown a fit. Never. And you can ask the teachers down there. They don't usually have a problem. It's afternoon. I do not know where that report went to. It's been almost 14 school days, and we didn't hear about it in the first 7 days. Now, I don't know what's going on, and I'm getting aggravated about it. If you all don't want him in the school here, you tell us. We think, I've got 5 brothers and sisters that are educated. They've taught in the public schools, and most of them are at the Christian school now, and they all feel like that the school board wants him out. So if he does, you're going to lose money. You know, I know y'all are not going to respond back to me today. That's the reason I'm requesting a meeting from the woman in union with the whole board, and I want Miss Leslie Ferguson there. It is not her fault. She has worked great with us. You know, we are going to do another IEP. I had this looked over today by a teacher that has worked 25 years in the public schools, and she has a certificate. You know, in this thing right here, this IEP, we didn't write it. I can't read the woman's writing that wrote it. Can't read it. Don't know who she is. We didn't write it. That was done through the school system. In the thing, it says January 24th, not able to function independently. They won't give him an aide, private. He's always had one, but now he's in the 6th grade, but his mind is a 4 or 5 in that. So, you know, no, y'all are not going to answer no questions. That's the reason I want to come. His father is out of town on business, will be back. I am requesting that we have this meeting, the next board meeting. Where will it be? Okay, I'll get the information. There's so many things in here that are wrong, and I'm going to bring that up. I'm not going to bring it up tonight because it'll take too long, but I would like to know why we was not able to view the videos. All right, the main one we wanted to see is he went to lunch, put his tray and his silverware, and walked out through the front of the school into the parking lot. He is known as a runner. Now, maybe you all don't understand that. He is a runner. He has run from the school, and they've had to call the police in the past. He will hide in the school. That's the reason he needs his own aid, for safety concerns. Now, if he gets out, Jeffries, Mr. Jeffries down there is the officer. He saw him in the parking lot and had to run to get him, and so did Miss Fierce. There are 5 teachers in the cafeteria, plus his aide and teacher. Nobody saw that boy walk out. Nobody. So, you know, they say, oh, those teachers are watching kids. Bunch of crap. I've been down there, and they stand in the corner, and they talk to one another and stuff. They're not watching the kids. The only thing they're watching, if they get loud, turn the light out. Turn the light out. Channing, we know that he can never live by himself. We know that. But I want him to have the best education that he can get. But if the board doesn't want him there, we'll find another state to take him to. I'm retired, so I will take him as far as Roanoke. Now, on the 30th, he will see a psychiatrist to determine what the problem is. And the truant officer has agreed to wait until then. You know, I take him out once a week for his physical therapy and occupational. We take him to Parisburg because we don't see any change at the public schools. I'm sorry. And I'm going to throw one more thing. I hope I've covered what I wanted. But the main thing is, right now, Jonathan McPherson, and I know him, came down, and every now and then they erase the video in the cafeteria. Now, why? Did they not want us to see it? It's erased. Now, they have to keep the classrooms for 1 year. That's the main one we wanted to see, how he got out. But, you know, Miss Leslie down there is great with him. And the teachers that have, they're not teachers, aides that have come in to fill in, no problem with them. None. I don't want you to go back and say, oh, he was talking about the teachers. They're not teachers. We had one teacher that taught phys ed, and she came back for 2 weeks, retired 6 years ago, and said, I don't know how to teach him. I'm not qualified. I'm a phys ed teacher. Now, I don't know why the school does not have a special ed teacher. Now, they make more money if they're certified. I've done all this research. I've already talked to Charleston. You know, they've told me things that they can do, and you don't want them up here involved. I don't. I want this settled up, but I want to know why the video was erased. If they'd let it do us within the 7 work days. I didn't count the weekends. From September the 30th until this past Thursday. That was 13 days. So we could have saw, you know, we're trying, like I took him out at 11 o'clock so he would not have trouble with the teachers. I thought I was doing something good. And then after 3 days, Miss Gore told me, said, Tom, he's been counted absent. If you leave before 12 o'clock, so we go to the doctor, he writes a report. If he gets antsy, take him home. And that's in the IEP. We didn't write this IEP. And I'm not going to go through the rest of it. This lady filled all this stuff out for me, questions. And the school will be liable if he gets hurt. Now, I don't know if anybody knows that or not. That would be a lawsuit. And I would follow up on that because he is my grandson. That's all I've got to say, but I will schedule for that, and I hope the whole board can be there. I know things come up. I know that. Thank you.
I'd like to say one more thing real quick. Kids at school down here cannot read or write, 3rd graders. You cannot read their writing. We don't know. One of my granddaughters, 3rd grade, she has a 5 point in math, 100 in all the other classes. And last year we sent them to the summer school, big joke, won't happen again. They played, they did games. We thought they were going to be tutored. Well, they wasn't. So we will hire private tutors next year out of the school system. You know, it's a shame. I have a grandson that graduated from this school that can't read cursive writing. And if you check, you'll find out there's a whole lot. And I don't believe all the statistics that the guy before me, no. You know, that's like on TV. If you don't like Trump or this one, how many people did he call? Nobody's ever called me. But I don't believe all these statistics. Because if you would check, you got a lot of kids that graduated from here that cannot read cursive or write their name. You know, I don't know if anybody's going to check into that. I hope I haven't made you mad but I wanted to express my opinion about my grandson. Now, maybe none of you all have a child that's handicapped. Maybe you don't. But he's special, and he always will be. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Finch. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Spencer? Okay, moving on to superintendent's report.
Okay, like Mr. Houck said, we had a successful mock drill yesterday. Good for staff, law enforcement, local first responders participated. Some good things. Talked to just a brief after the mock disaster. Some things we need to fine tune. Some things we need to look at and change. But all overall pretty good. Oh, I need the mic. Sorry. Okay. Overall pretty good. We had the PSAT testing for ninth graders today. Just a reminder, James Monroe is having their Boo Fest on October 29th. Pretty neat thing. PMS has got some clubs this year. Their one club is building robots. I'll encourage you to go and look at that. It's pretty interesting. And another carpentry club is building complaint boxes, so students have a little more of a voice, so that they can share what's on their mind. We will be having Red Ribbon Week. It's always a tongue tie. It's anti-drug awareness activities starting the week of October 27th. We're going to start our first data talks. The first one of the year is going to be with all elementaries and middle schools. November 7th is the one at Mountain View, and then November 21st, we're going to hit PES and PMS. Data talks, teachers are prepared for this. They bring their school data. They talk about test scores. They talk about growth, projected growth, where they're going to be, what their goals are, how we're going to achieve those. They're good data talks. Good thing we've got 4 new drivers passed the state test that are driving 2 routes today and tomorrow. We should have 4 new drivers Thursday that are sub-drivers. 2 more drivers are awaiting state test. I'm hoping that by next week we can have 2 more drivers. So potentially by next Thursday we could have 6 new drivers. And then I just talked to Mr. Belcher Friday, I believe, or maybe it was Monday, yesterday. And so we've got 2 new drivers starting a training class this week. So potentially within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we could have 8 more drivers that are sub-drivers. So that's good. That's good. We're having our financial audit. I'm sure Robin will talk more about that. I guess it's the 23rd now. They're on site the 23rd. They've already opened our calendar for next year. We're going to meet in November to start that process, to work on our calendar for next year. They're going to finish up Mountains View's punch list. Swope has some subs coming in Tuesday, and also Monday of next week. What we're waiting on some locks that were supposed to be here on the 17th. We checked on them on the 17th. They have not been shipped yet. They were supposed to be shipped, I think, this week. So we're just waiting on those locks to get in here so we can start that. We have been having some. We're getting prepared for the winter season. We're been meeting with maintenance every other week with Mr. French. We're going to have an existing snow blade to one of the maintenance trucks. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a big savings that we can just add the good blade that we have to one of our current maintenance trucks. We're also having some trouble with a tractor with the pallets and what they move, and it will also help with snow removal. We're getting some quotes for a Kubota tractor to replace the one that we currently have. We're going to go ahead and get quotes also for a blade and a spreader while we get that quotes for tractors, so that way it's ready to go for winter and we're good to go. Real neat project. Maintenance just finished up a Gaga pit at Peterstown. Of course, we were joking with maintenance this morning, and we said they're real happy about the Gaga pit, but the nurse visits are going to go up. Probably double in the next couple weeks, especially with knuckles and hands and knees and even faces with that Gaga ball. I don't know if you ever played Gaga ball, but it's pretty ruthless, can be. So they've got a new Gaga pit finished up at Peterstown, so I encourage you to look over at that. So our maintenance has been busy, our staff's been busy, a lot of things going on. So.
Anybody have any questions for Dr. Conaway? James Monroe Student Government Report. I've asked Mr. French if he would, those ladies are in watching the seniors.
I won't do it justice compared to the way they usually do, but school updates, they said sports are doing well. Code Red drill went well. They had a fire drill. Behavior is still good, only one fight. Attendance is up. Grades are up. The PSAT is coming up. Yeah. School activities, the Boo Fest is the 29th. Door decorating contest starting next 22nd, completed on the 29th. The Haunted Trail, October 18th. The Humanity Challenge of Bluefield. Concord Business Challenge. Many school clubs fall conferences coming up. FCA game day trip. And the Shakespeare trip. And for student wants, paper towel update. Just want a paper towel update.
I talked to maintenance, they recommend it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They said they'll call the police, we're looking for something to put in the buildings, so that if they want paper towels, they will shred it. So that's more than time, but right now, it says unless we got something, when we go to the buildings.
Yep. So it's ongoing depending on what the research shows. School lunches, just a question mark about school lunches. Yeah, that was the comment about ham, wasn't it? Yeah. Like ham 3 times in 1 week. Right. Right. Yes, sir. School Christmas Spirit Week type day. Movie, board games, concessions, sugar-free hot chocolate. So I guess they're wanting a Spirit Week for Christmas and different things to do on those days.
I think just one day, right? They want one day, you know? But like spirit kind of thing, but they did it last year, didn't they? They had the big games.
I think they did do something last year. Yeah, I think they did do that.
They do it Christmas, it's in spring.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, they did do that one. Yep. But that's all they have listed.
All right, now the treasurer's report.
The financial statements that I You will notice on the expense sheets for each fund, there are some items that show they have negative remaining balances, and that may have stuck out to some. And I wanted to explain that we just finished a process. You have to do a process every year, which is called carryover of the prior year, and the deadline for that is the end of October. So what that means is if you have money left in grants in like step 7, excess levy, things of that nature, you have to actually do a manual entry to put them back onto the system and allocate them as to where they need to go. And where that was not done already in September when these were ran, then if someone was using coding for, say, a program that they know they still had money in, the system doesn't recognize that. So it's going to show up as a negative number. But now that those entries have been entered, that will take care of the majority of those negative numbers. I have a report that I have to, the state does a monitoring each month and they send me a report, and I have to explain negative numbers and things that are forecasted to be a negative number by the end of the year, and those type items were on there. As far as I looked at all the coding for things and could tell that what was causing them to be negative was because of an entry that was going to need to be done. So that has been taken care of. I'm currently working and finishing up all the annual school audits. We're required to do those each year within so many months of the close of the year. We had to speed them up a little bit this year because they are something that our financial auditors also do a sampling of. Our financial audit will be October 23rd. We had thought it was going to start tomorrow. However, they are going to come on Thursday instead. The majority of the information is submitted to them through a portal so that they can review a lot of the data before they get here. Some samples we have to do live when they come because it would take longer to scan them in than it would for them to review them by the time you unstapled all the POs and receipts from something. So they will review a lot of that on site. That's really it for that part, but I did want to bring up to see how you want to proceed. The lawnmower was approved at a previous board meeting to be purchased from Mountaineer Power Equipment. When James Monroe contacted them, they do not have that mower in stock, and from the email that I received, said that they are going out of business. So I don't know if we want to get, we had 2 other companies, we had 6 tractors that we had gotten all together, 2 from 3 separate companies. If we want to go to the next bid in the process, which was Legacy Land, it was a Kawasaki for $13,499, or if we want to get some more bids and have it put back on the board agenda. But I assume we're gonna have to have it put back on the agenda regardless, but I wanted to know, in the meantime, do you want me to get any more quotes?
He's actually got some people that are looking, they're looking to keep the business there.
Okay.
Mr. Wickline and Mr. Mustang are supposed to stop by there. They have a couple of mowers that are in comparison.
Okay.
One is actually a little bit cheaper, it's the same mowing width and everything, be a little bit cheaper for us. But he has some that are there, and they were supposed to look at it.
Okay.
So it might be that we can still stay there.
Do we want to try to have, I guess, that on the next board agenda? If they find something, then put that forth at that time?
Yeah,
I
I'll
guess.
tell them to try to get it.
Okay.
Get it.
Any questions for Robin? Okay. Need a treasurer's report? I don't think so, do we? We don't have to make a motion to accept those, do we?
Mine, but treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report, yeah. No questions? Okay, get a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Ms. Myers has made that motion. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Mr. Fraley? Mr. Fraley, can you hear us, Mr. Fraley? Okay. Motion passes 4-0. Next is policies and procedures. We're going to put another policy out on a 30-day comment period. Monroe County Schools Family Guide for Communications. I think that was in our packet, right? So, yeah, good, yeah.
Okay, and this is just simply, I call it as a policy, but it's just simply, we've got some problems with not necessarily chain of command, but people not getting answers as efficiently as I want them to. Because we've got people that'll call principals when they should be calling teachers, and people that are calling board office when they should be calling principals, and then it's a step process. We're going, so that means if somebody would call me as a superintendent and ask a question, I'm going to have to go back down the chain to find the answer. I'm going to have to go back down to a teacher, as to where if they would start with that teacher at the lowest level and just say, hey, what's the situation? 9 out of 10 times that teacher's going to be able to answer it, rather than go to me and I'll go to the principal, and then the principal will go to the teacher. So we're talking 3 or 4 days possibly, when they could just email that teacher or call the teacher and just say, hey, tell me about this. So this is just a kind of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5 to have of where to go. And also it helps the board as well, just to know that what your role is for that as well. So it's just to help get questions answered quickly, get questions answered most efficiently, get questions answered more in time. It's just a communication policy to help with flow of communication.
Anybody got any questions about that? Can I get a motion to put this out for a 30-day comment period? Mr. French has made that motion. All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Motion passes 4-0. Consent items, approving to pay the bills, approving the budget, supplement and transfers. The supplement transfers, we've all had in our packet. Approve the amended board minutes for the May 20th, 25 meeting. Approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on September 16th. Approve the special board minutes for September 23rd. And approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on October 7th. So all these will be voted on. Anybody have any questions about any of those?
While we're doing May 20th, 2025, we had to, so we had to change something on those on it, to make things flow up a little better. So that's why we get them approved. We had to change something to make it right.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Can I get a motion to approve the consent items? Mr. French has made that motion. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Motion passes 4-0. Now moving on to new business. I don't know if y'all been at the schools lately, but this is probably something that needs to be taken care of really, really fast. Consideration of approval of the quote from the Audio Video Solutions to fix the intercom system at James Monroe High School, funded through the levy under the safety part. You do have that in your packet. Does anybody have any questions on it?
So what they're fixing, you do,
It took me forever to get it. I'm sorry, but I can get 3 quotes. The amps are bad. They have to replace the amps, and then they have to recable. Sorry, they have to recable some of the area, and that should take care of it.
when they finish with this, will this make it 100% in the building?
It's supposed to. And I'm not an audio video person, so I'm not a audio person, so I don't know how.
Yeah.
You have to know that's what, the amps being blown is what causing the popping in the speakers? Is that
Yes,
what
that's
I'm
what's,
understanding?
no, they had to rewire it a little bit, and that was what was causing the problem in the speakers.
Yeah, my understanding was somebody come and switched 2 wires and they started popping, and this group come and switch them back and they quit popping.
Yeah.
But this will fix the whole system is what I
Some others
understood.
do,
This is what I understood this morning.
but it's taken me 6 months to get the 3 quotes.
That is an excellent price on that amp. I looked into some places where you usually get that kind of stuff for our kids and stuff, and that's an excellent price. That's an extra price.
Good,
It's double right now.
good deal.
Really good quality.
I have no idea.
But yeah, more, yeah, more capacity. Yeah, it looks the same.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve the audio video equipment? Ms. Myers has made that motion. All in favor say aye. Motion passes 4-0. New business B, consider approval of the out-of-state travel for the James Monroe High School art students, 11th and 12th grade. We'll be going to Winston-Salem, North Carolina on November the 17th. This will be paid for by the levy. Co-curricular funds and buses and students will pay for the tickets and dinner. Any discussion on that? Can I get a motion? Mr. French has made that motion. All in favor say aye. Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to consider approval of James Monroe High School LSIC budget for 25-26 school year. That was in your packet. We looked over here. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Gardner about that? The LSIC? Okay.
You want me to
Got you taken care of. Okay, get a motion to approve the LSIC for James Monroe? Mr. French has made that motion. I'll get him next. All in favor say aye. Motion passes 4-0. Consider approval of the quote from Contract Paper Group to purchase the paper for the 25-26 school year. That always blows my mind. Can I get a motion to approve the paper contract? Ms. Myers has made that motion. All in favor say aye. Motion passes 4-0. Item E, consider approval of donated leave for James Jackson.
I just need you guys to approve that it's okay for us to ask for this, basically. And get your permission, because what I'll do is I'll send out an email, all the staff, and just say, would anybody like to donate leave to James Jackson, and if they want to donate their sick days, that they can donate them to him, so that way he gets paid when it's for the situation.
Okay.
So, but I need you guys to allow me to send that email on people that are allowed to share their sick days.
Any discussion over that? Can I get a motion to approve Mr. Conaway to send out an email? To ask people to donate time to James Jackson. Mr. French has made that motion. All in favor say aye. 4-0. Now we need Mr. Howe. You want to go see if he's available? This is the new one. This is the new expansion he's talking about. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
You just want to go and present for him at the time? Cover Dave?
He might be busy. I'll just kind of share what Mr. Halk and I talked about just a few minutes before. Really what they're looking for approval is, and it was in that email that he sent out to everybody today, but when they looked at the paper, and I think it's in the back of this, it's in the folder that he gave you, basically, if they get the grant, the Board of Education is responsible for 10% of the grant money to make that happen. I'm pretty sure that's what we're asking for tonight, is just to, if they get the grant, can we try to fund the 10% difference? Yeah, the everything has to be filed before November 1. Just changing those, he was rotating those tires in the parking lot, right?
I was, yes. I got the first one done. I'm working on a Dodge Ram right now, so we're good.
They're very easy to pull off for whatever reason. I don't know why. Now, so we've been looking at, and I know, like you said, Mr. Spencer has come and discussed some opportunities with us, and we're trying to expand the meat house. It's the only thing CTE-wise that has not been able to be touched by what we're doing through the SBA. Excuse me. And so we've been looking at different avenues, and we found that the Department of Education has an expansion grant that is available for us to apply for, and it's got a minimum of $50,000 to expand a program. We've been looking at the expansion for the meat house, putting in, the ceilings aren't tall enough to do whole carcasses, so our students are missing out We don't have a skinning room. So anything that we get already has to be skinned and has to be eviscerated, something eviscerated. Okay. So, you know, all the fun stuff, right? Gutting. We'll just call it gutting because that's what it is, right? So they have to be skinned, gutted, and quartered before we can get them because of the way our meat house is set up now. And so with doing that, our students are missing out on a lot of opportunities and a lot of things based on that. And so we've looked at extending, there's a little room, if you look at if we're looking, I should have brought a picture, but if you're looking at the meat house, there's a little room that sticks off on the left-hand side. It's actually plumbed and it was set up as a skinning room. However, the rest of the building is too short. And so what we're going to try to do is put a new cooler off the backside right there. So use the skinning room, look at opening up a hole and putting a cooler right there. And I've talked with Shores Insulation in Lewisburg, and he's done a few where we would block it, we would put in metal studs, and they would come in and put in closed cell foam, and then we would put our prefab roof trusses on, and they would go in once we put our ceiling in, spray 5 or 6 inches on top of that to insulate everything. So we can take what we have and adapt it and make it to where, you know, we can bring full beef carcasses in, skin them right there. We would have to attach, there's a drain that goes into the main sewer. We'd have to tap into it. But all of that, I would try to, you know, kind of get into this grant. The big thing with the grant, after we started looking at it, it asks for a 10% minimum match. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. The minimum is $50,000. We're looking probably, I'm still waiting for a couple quotes to come in. That's why, if you look, I just stuck the budget summary in that pink folder. That's why it's not filled out. I'm still waiting for stuff to come in. We're looking probably closer to like $80,000 to kind of get that thing up and going. However, what we were looking at is, if we did that, we can bring deer in, hunters for hungry. I know Mr. Boone was telling me about it. He got in contact with them. They would offer us $3 a pound just to grind up deer. We just have to be able to take the whole carcass and do everything. We've talked with area farmers. We have a partnership with the Willow Bend, I forget what it's called, the Ag Center now. Up there in Union. We've brought in their lambs last year. However, again, they've been stripped, they've been gutted. So we would be able to open up our meat house to form more partnerships with, you know, community. We have like 80% of our acreage is farms. And so we'd be able to do that. We've talked with Mr. White, Brandon White with Mountain Meadow, and actually I believe he just hired one of our students that went through the program last year to work part-time there. We also talked with Zach Mann down here at Mann's Meat Processing, and that's the big lack that they're seeing is the fact that they don't have the experience skinning and dealing with that aspect. So our kids are being kind of cut short. So we're just asking if it's possible for, you know, the board to help us match or meet that minimum of a 10% match with whatever grant that we get. Like I said, the minimum is $50,000, so it'd be a $5,000 match. And it could be, you know, as much as 80. I haven't seen, I know the rail system alone, just for the material for the rails, is 10 grand, putting the metal structure in, and then the switches and all that stuff that are required. The hoists, we have the hooks already, so the only thing we need is the rail system and the guides that go on it, and then putting in that new cooler that would be able to hang full-size carcasses in. We can bring it over to the existing door. We would put a winch right in on the inside that would lower the quarter down and then be able to swing it in and put it on another hook inside that door. So we've kind of finagled that. And then, of course, we would bring the front of that room out some to meet the existing face of the building and kind of put a sloped kind of walkway into it that we can then bring the hoist down, raise it up, and then hook on and then run the rail system throughout the entire building. So that's the reason why we kind of are pressed for time to kind of get this done. The due date is November 1st. So we were just asking if the board would be willing to put in, or if we had the funds to even, attempt to do that 10% match. Like, it'd be somewhere around $5,000 to $8,000. Any questions?
I guess the question goes to the other end of the table down there, right?
They're just asking, I think all it says is just, we have to be willing to put in a minimum of 10% is how I took it when they were doing it. And so when I kind of figure out all of what is there, like the foam is material and labor is right at $5,200. He said allow about $400 just in case material costs would go up. I know just the material alone for the rail system is about 10 grand. Came in, right, it was like 92 and some change, but then with all the switches and things, he said, the guy we talked to who comes in and welds all of it, said factor about $100 per labor, or per hour labor, and he said it wouldn't take any more than 100 hours. So you're looking at, almost 10 grand there for that. So, I mean, the rail system is the biggest expense for what we want. I talked with Mr. Taylor. We were going to get the kind of carpentry class involved because the ramp needs to be replaced. We need to redo the handrail and stuff going up the face of it. We'll have to put, when we come out, put the doors and stuff in. So there's some things there that we can get carpentry involved as well. I thought about welding, but then I thought about, okay, the liability behind it and lifting up the 2x6 supports that have to go across, the 4x4 post sticking up out of the ground, and I kind of got to thinking that may be pushing it. So I mean that's kind of where we're at with it. So I'll know more about it once Mitchell and I, we have to sit down and look at the winch system and doors. But once we get that, I can put this together and I'll know more about the matching aspect of it. I think it's through Perkins funding, which would be federal. But it's coming through the CTE side of the State Department. But I think it's money that they have set aside for expansion of current programs.
Ms. Nelson pointed out that when you get into a federal grant, you have to pay the data safety wages, which doesn't target the cost of living here.
Right.
And so that's just something to keep in mind.
Okay. There's a spot in there where I can add, what was it called? Indirect costs and things. So I'll throw whatever we need to. But that was kind of.
That'll actually be, it'll be in the labor parts.
Do what?
The labor is what will actually have to be paid at a higher rate.
Yeah.
If it's federal, you have to figure out the indirect costs as well, and figure that into it.
Right. Okay. It's built in. I'll just figure it out. Whatever. I'll give you a call. We
Just add a little extra to everything you do.
Do what?
Add a little extra to everything you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the big thing is, like, if I do that, then it's more that we would have to, be willing to put on as well. So.
Right. Any other questions for Mr. Howe? Can I get a motion to approve the CTE expansion grant, possibility of paying up to 10%? Mr. French has made that motion. All in favor say aye. Motion passes 4-0. Approval of the superintendent's recommendation for personnel. See that we'll have to pull number 5 and vote on Ms. Kimberly Fraley separately. Any other? I think that's the only one I've seen that. Can I get a motion to approve the hires all except for number 5? Ms. Myers has made that motion. All in favor say aye. That motion passes 4-0. Okay. Now, can I get a motion to approve number 5, Ms. Fraley, as site coordinator for JMHS? Yeah, he'll abstain at the end. Mr. French has made that motion. All in favor say aye. And Mr. Fraley abstaining. So motion passes 3-0 with Mr. Fraley abstaining. Anything else for tonight? Can I get a motion? Anybody like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting? Ms. Myers had made that motion. All in favor say aye. Motion passes 4-0. This meeting is adjourned.